this video, we are going to learn how to make a template from start to finish. What I like to do is start with a document that I already have and that I regularly use in my law practice. In this case, let's say a living will. I've got the living will of John P. Doe. I have in here already one that I've done with his wife Jane, his son Jerry, and his daughter Jill, and then a few follow-up paragraphs. Often I get asked, what do I use the colors for? My methodology is to use the colors to indicate text that I need to review to determine whether or not it is applicable. So if we look at this section in my living will document, I wish to designate as my surrogates, my wife, my son, my daughter, each to carry out independently or each jointly, or first my spouse independently and then my children as co-surrogates, just the way my language has been commonly. So with that, what I do to create a template is I first identify a piece of text. So I'm going to identify John P. and highlight that, and I'm going to choose Find and Replace. And notice here, it's in proper case, whereas on the screen, his name was in all uppercase. I like to use our delimiter, the squiggle bracket and a square, that's a requirement. And then if I'm working on an estate plan, I'll usually use a prefix like estate, first name. And I'm just going to click replace all. I'm going to repeat that, but I'm going to actually now, because you can get into trouble with this, his last name is Doe. So what I'm going to do is first go ahead and replace everybody else in the entire document. So edit Jane Doe, I'm going to change that to estate dot, I believe I'm going to use first name is what I like to use. Replace all. I'm going to go ahead and replace Jerry, same methodology, and we'll call that second name. And I use generic items like that because spouse may or may not be the person that we're going to have as that first relationship. And then my last one, I have this set up so I can have 3 separate people. Edit, find and replace. Again, I can pull that from the pick list. Microsoft Word or Notes or whatever else you're using is quite similar. I use LibreOffice, which is available for free. So now I've replaced that, all of the names, and that leaves me with the client's last name, and I want to go ahead and replace that. Edit, find and replace. And we can go back to the original first name, and I'm going to type in last, replace all. That was in there 6 times. I will then come down and I'm going to change the relationships. So my wife will become, I like to, again, it may be my brother or something like that. It may not necessarily be my wife. So it's going to be first, and how about relationship? And it only replaced once, which was interesting because I actually have hard-coded language to be spouse. We'll go ahead and do my son. Same thing. Second. And finally, we will do my daughter. And I'm going to scan the document. Oh, interesting here in the footer, whatever was in my document originally. So I'm going to change that to be location.name. That's a standard field we have in our document. So now if I scan this document top to bottom, I have a living will of first name, last name, last name, my spouse, my wife, etc. coming on down through here. I have the notary block set up, And even though it word wraps, when we go to print everything out, it should be okay. And that's all there is to it. I have actually created a template, and I can save that and upload it accordingly to Legal Docs. I hope this helped with drafting a template. If you have any questions, email support or post a question.